Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you are having a great day. So I'm currently in the primary suite. I'm cleaning up and making my bed, but over the next probably week or two, I am strictly working in this room. One of the things that I did beyond cleaning, if you look at the wall behind me, I did some trim work, which I will get into once the video continues, but I wanted to go ahead and address that. And if you've been following me on Instagram, then you also know that I have been building a fireplace. Yes, I said building. Not that I couldn't do it before. I think I was just scared to hurt myself. That fear has definitely dwindled away considering how expensive things are in Atlanta. So I've opted to do majority of the work minus like plumbing and electric on my own. So you guys will be seeing that. I will say I do apologize. My intention was not to be gone as long as I was, but I could not find my camera bag, which with all the moving around, someone put it in the garage under some material and we just found it. And then none of my batteries were charging. I couldn't find my charger. And that was a flop because I went to Best Buy and purchased the battery. And when we got home, the box was missing pieces. And so we had to wait another 2 days to go back to Best Buy and to buy another battery. So things have really been happening and they've been totally out of my control, but I'm back. Not only did I have my camera, but I also have 4 batteries because I had to purchase batteries. And so this is pretty much it, you guys. Like I said, over the next couple of days, I will be working on completing this space.
Over the last week and a half, what I've been working on is adding trim onto the wall. So I did do this, and if you can see over by my bed, I did the exact same design over here. The boxes are not the same size, but overall in terms of the design setup, it's the same. So I have 2 boxes. I think this one is 42 and the other one is 41 and a half. And in the middle, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's about 90. And then I have the inside of the trim. I pretty much just ran the same design from the previous house. I know. But I like it. Something about me is when I put something together, I want to see it and I'm okay with seeing it. I know I'm not going to get tired. If I do want to change this thing out, I would probably just remove the art and leave the sconce. My computer will not be staying there. I know right now that area looks a little cluttered, but until we kind of get the house a bit more situated, this is what it is. But the trim, absolutely loving it. I am going to go on my miter saw to show you the cuts. Once you get the cuts down, everything else becomes really easy. Okay, so I also added trim on this wall, and I want to say this is 21, this is 21, and I think this is like 72 or 78, and then I have the smaller inside trim. I'll leave a link down below, so if you're interested, you know exactly what pieces to purchase. I did not want to do I've seen it where even downstairs in the room, they've butted the trim up to the plate. I didn't want to mess with that. Plus, I didn't want to call the electrician to move it over because I think that's like 70, 80 bucks. And I just was like, I don't want to do any of it. So when it came to the outlet, which is right here, I pretty much just kind of, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, if I thought about it sooner, I would have done that. But I think it's just entirely too much detail to be all over the room because the room already has a lot of color and texture and just things in general. So thank God I didn't figure it out because I think it would have been too much because, again, there's a bunch of details in here. But I did just kind of take the outlet area, again, which is right here, and just squared it out to miss the outlet here, which is fine. You don't really see it until you walk all the way into the room. Something else that I want you guys to see. Now, I really did my best to try to unbox the lamp, but my battery was dead and I couldn't unbox it. I'm gonna zoom in really quickly because I did change out the lamp and I really do love it. Okay, so you guys, I'm currently in the hallway because I want to share and show you the update. it's one of those things where every time I clean, I'm having to do this thing all over again. So this light right here used to be a recess light. Let me zoom into it. And now I have put a light fixture, which I love. And then over on this side, what's gonna end up going there, where you see the sconce light here, it's gonna be a bookcase, and then one of the shelving is gonna have the light that we can kind of peer down. And then the hallway itself is gonna have a whole bench. So let me zoom out. So this whole area here is gonna be benched out. Just in case if you want a quick reminder, this is what was on the ceiling. And we purchased all new fire and carbon sensors in the house. Not only do we have this one here, but we have the matching sconce here also. Show you that. And then when the guy, you guys probably didn't see this on this channel, but the ceiling was messed up. When one of the guys was doing work, he stepped into the ceiling, that whole thing got messed up. And that's that. If you guys are wondering, yes, I've already sold the lamps. I have to pack them up to go out Monday. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is measure your wall. Once you measure your wall, you want to go ahead and write down every single last one of your measurements, which is what I did here. I wrote every single one down so I knew exactly what I was going to be cutting. Once that got done, the first thing you're going to do with your saw, okay? Oof. The first thing you're going to do with your miter saw is you're going to turn it on. And then the next thing you're going to do is take the black piece on the back. You want to push this down and you're going to unlock it like so. And now it's unlocked. Then you're going to turn it. That way it's directly in front of you. Okay? Now, this is the trim piece. If you go into Home Depot, you want to look for this particular trim piece. It's kind of wide here and skinny here. And you have two pieces. Well, there's measurements along the line of this. I'm also going to put the saw in the description box. You have 45 and 45. So what I like to do, and this is what I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to put it at 0. You guys won't need the 0. I'm just showing you for the purpose of this video, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and add the two pieces here. Make sure everything is leveled out to be about the same on each side, okay? Now that I have it here, I'm going to cut. When you cut, I like to kind of put my hand here. That way I know I'm not touching anything. And then press the trim piece down. And then how you're going to do this, you want to bring the trim down and you want to cut. Do not bring it back up until the blade has stopped, okay? So I'm doing my first cut. I didn't follow my own instruction, but I've been doing this. I'm trying to make y'all do it right, okay? And now you have two really nice, clean cuts. The next thing you're gonna do is you wanna move this at a 45-degree angle. Now keep in mind, the wider end is going to be facing you and the more skinnier is gonna be facing here. All I'm doing now is taking that piece. The good thing about this is there's a line of demarcation. I'm taking it at the lower end part here and I'm gonna cut it right at the line, okay? I'm gonna move my hand back towards the back. I'm gonna go ahead, because what I do is I cut my first piece because there's like 2, 4, there's 6 legs, which is the body of the trim, okay? And when I say legs, when I tell you there's 6 legs, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because you're creating a picture box essentially, okay? In order for you not to lose out on material, I want to go all the way here to where the line is at, where I can see the demarcation of the trim, and then I'm gonna cut. Okay? So as you can see, you end up not losing out on so much material. Let me see. So as you can see, if you're cutting, what you want to do is cut as least as possible. So when you go to the store, you're either going to come home with a 16 piece or 8 feet piece. Highly recommend, because sometimes the store does not have 8 feet available. Have this in your trunk, okay? Because they want you to do it with a hand saw. I don't agree with it. So now I have 2 pieces that are cut at the 45-degree angle. Okay. So now I have 2 pieces that are cut at the 45-degree angle. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to move it in the opposite direction, and you want to make sure you land at the 45-degree also. You're going to know that you're there because it will lock in place. And then you want to cut the other side of the 45. And again, you want to bring it all the way to where the line is. There's a sensor, and you can kind of see the demarcation here. So there is a sensor, there's a line when you put the blade down so you can see. And I'm going to cut it. You want to release, and then you bring up. I'm going to do the same thing with this piece again. Let me just tell y'all now, the easiest way to do this, I'm going to share this with you guys now. When you get your measurement, you want to go ahead and cut all, for me, 4, 6. If the easiest way to do this is to write down all the walls you're going to be working on, write all the measurements, and go ahead and cut every single one of them. That way you nail it on the wall and you know you're done. Or else you're going to be going back and forth on pieces of trim. It's a total waste of time. So now you end up with 2 pieces. So essentially the biggest one is going to be the side. And here you have it. All you have to do now is get your brad nailer, and you want to nail that down. Okay? Once you nail it, you would then take another piece, cut it, and then cut it and create a box. But I'm going to show you guys how this works. Because this side goes like this, and then when you cut the other side, all you have to do is flip it and put it on this side right here. And just make sure the lines meet, just like perfect, like a picture frame. And then you have it. So basically the wider piece is there, and then of course when it comes to the bottom piece, you're going to be doing the same thing. You see? And it's going to fit every which way. This is going to save you guys a lot of money. Let me just tell you that now, because I know for a fact it's been about a good $8,000 save me doing most of the work. I'm going to show you and share with you the pieces again, because all you have to do is meet it right here at that 45-degree angle. And you see how clean that is? And again, when it comes to you moving it on this side, all you have to do is take this. It seems like a lot, y'all, but I promise you, if you just take one piece, even if you end up bringing one, ain't no way you're not going to be able to put trim on your wall. Y'all see that? That 45-degree angle. Now, if you get to a part of your wall that's a little funky and you're trying to work it out, all you have to do is line everything up like so. You're going to take your pencil, because it may not necessarily be a 45-degree angle, but you want to link the pieces up wherever you need to be at. You want to add the line, and when you add the line, then you're going to cut. That way you're guaranteed a clean cut. So one of the things that I did is I have a really funky, wonky cut. And so what I did is I took the trim pieces, I added it like so, and then I added it like so, and then I was able to get the measurement. And from here, I was then able to create my cut. So the first thing that I did is I lined it up here, and then I lined it up here, and then I got my measurement. I'm gonna get the camera so I can show you how clean of a cut. And I've never done trim like this before. I ended up, let me show you guys. Karina is a young lady on Instagram. I ended up calling her, and then I ended up calling Ryan. Ryan actually stayed on the phone with me, so if you can see, I already had my measurement down. And again, I've never done a cut on my stairs before, but this is really good. Once I go in to do all the caulking and the filling, it's gonna be like super flush and like wood filler. You're not gonna see it, but this being my first time working on the step, I did really good. I'm proud of myself. This is the other side of the wall where I'm doing measurements. I still have to add a few more boxes, but I want you guys to see. All I did was add the pieces, take the measurement pencil, and then I was able to cut it because this is not a 35 or a 45 degree angle, and normally these cuts are a little bit more difficult, but the fact that I was able to add all the lines on there and pinpoint exactly where the trim needed to be, it made my cuts so much easier. Let me just tell you, it's best you go to the store and you buy one piece of trim about 8 feet and you keep trying it out, and you mess up and you figure it out instead of you spending $8,000. Okay, there's just some things that you cannot pay for, and you might as well just go ahead and do it. It's no different than if you're taking an online class. Okay, making the cuts isn't that difficult. I think the most difficult part is really figuring out position on the miter saw, and once I kind of figured that out, the rest became really easy. The biggest part for me was not cutting my finger, which kept me away from the tool. So I got over that fear when I started seeing the bills that were coming in and how much they were asking to do the trim. Now I already have the Design 101, but if you live in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're interested in me coming out, that way you could have the one-on-one in person. I'm trying to break it down to see if I want to do 2 or 3 days. I will be teaching you how to paint, how to cut trim to save money. I've realized it's not really the big things that I'm having an issue with, because those were done quite effortlessly. You can see my hallway. It's really the small details of what you're trying to implement into the house that at this point is just really expensive, and I feel like that has become more expensive than making a new room at this point. And I do understand that material is up, but for my bedroom and that trim in there, it was gonna be about $3,000, and I said, you know what, let me just do it myself. And I think just for one wall is $2,500. So if you're in Atlanta and you are interested, I will personally come out with all of my tools. We can go shopping for the materials that you're going to be needing. We can go shopping for the tools that you're going to need for the project. And if you know that you're someone who wants to work in your home, but you're finding difficult to even start and you don't know what to do, I can help. The thing is, it was easy for me to do it because I've sketched out these plans for clients so many times. I've sat on so many projects, but again, I was just scared to buy my own machine, being that I was by myself, and if I got hurt, I would 100% forget how to dial 911. And so I just didn't want to deal with that because I know myself, and that's another thing. So I will be leaving that information down below. You can reach out to my assistant via Instagram. I'll leave his information also. But once you get the cuts down and you can see how I did the stairs, how I did the wall, it comes fairly easy. I'm going to zoom in so you can see how the cuts are. And I didn't even waste too much material either. So this is the cut that I made. And as you can see, I'm using my pinky to hold it. The line is just clean. So when it comes time for you to caulk, there really isn't much caulking, to be quite honest. If you know how to paint, you can brush and dab just a little bit more in the corners to connect that seam, but you do have to caulk the outside. But this ends up looking really good. Like I said, I've already implemented this in so many areas of the house, different styles for different areas. We'll discuss that too in person, but it just looks really good, and I am super happy with it. And then when it comes to switching it over, this is the other side, and again, all you have to do is match it up, and look at that, really nice. So I want to share and show you guys what I was saying, because over here is chair rail
and also the base cap trim on this side. The hallway isn't that, well, the hallway is wide and longer, but in terms of the span of the wall, I didn't really have to do too much work. So there's one, the stairs was the problem for me. I'll show you guys that again. I did do the zoom in, but this wall here is done, and this ends up being really nice.
And then trim was done on this side of the wall, going down the stairs. So this right here is done. I still have to add one more box, but for the most part, getting this up was, I'll share with you how to get up there also. All right, you guys, bye.